Hi friends, welcome to Cracku's video series. I'm Saili Kale. I'm one of the founders of Cracku and an alumna of IIM Ahmedabad. In this particular video, we'll be discussing all the DILR set questions from CAT 2021 from Slot 2. So we have discussed all of the sets in detail in this particular video. If you're looking for free mocks to prepare for CAT, please do check out our description box. We have given the links to 3 free mocks in the description box. Apart from that, while you're preparing for CAT, we strongly recommend that you see all the CAT previous year's papers. Cracku has put up all the CAT previous year's papers, both in the PDF format which you can download, or you can take them in actual mock format, which is recommended because then you'll get actual exam experience as such. So apart from that, please do also check out our formula sheets. We have formula PDFs which encompass all the formulas that you will need for cracking CAT. So please do check out our description box for all these free resources that you can use to crack CAT. Thank you, and please keep watching.
In this question, we are given a graph. Now, this is a fairly simple question, and these are the kind of questions that you should definitely get correct in the examination because it doesn't require a lot of thinking to do, it doesn't require a lot of logical reasoning to do. You have to just look at the graph and ensure that you're not committing any silly mistakes. I know many toppers in the examination who have actually gotten some of the questions wrong in this kind of a set, and that is very unfortunate. So if you're having a set like this, you should get all the 4 questions correct in this set because it just requires concentration and effort and not making any silly mistakes. So now if you're looking at the graph, we have been given a few categories. Each category has a few orders. The orders can be either in first class or second class or standard class. And each order is represented by a line. It has one starting point and it has one ending point. For example, if you're looking at arts, the starting point of the first order is September 1st and the ending point is September 3rd. So this would imply that the order was booked on September 1st and it was dispatched on September 3rd. So the processing time is 2 days, 3 minus 1. And it was dispatched using standard class. That is basically what this graph means. And if you are thinking further, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. 5 orders in category art. Each of them, as you can see, the first one is in standard class, the second one is second class, third one is first class, fourth one is second class, and the fifth one is standard class. This is the case for all the different categories. This is the information that is given. Each of the 4 questions are individual questions. Let us go ahead and answer them. The first question says, how many days between September 1st and September 14th, both inclusive, had no booking from this client considering all the above categories? So let us first write down the dates 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 and 11, 12, 13, 14. If there is a booking, any booking on any one of these days, we'll put a cross and we'll go to the next date. If you're looking at September 1st, very clearly arts has a booking on September 1st. So we'll put a cancel there. If you're looking at September 2nd, binders has a booking on September 2nd. So we'll put a cancel there. September 3rd, if you're looking at it, arts again has a booking on September 3rd. So we'll again put a cancel there. If you're looking at September 4th, there is a booking for September 4th is this line. There is actually a booking for arts, so we can again put a cancel there. September 5th, let me clear this so that there is no confusion. September 5th will be this line. Is there any bar which is starting from this line? There is a bar over here, furnishing, so we'll put a cancel over here. If you're looking at September 6th, this line, we'll keep going up and we will finally meet something on fastnet, so we'll again put a cancel there. If you're looking at September 7th, we'll have to look at this line. There is a booking for storage. We'll again put a cancel there. If you're looking at September 8th, this line, we'll continue going up until we meet a bar which starts on September 8th. And there is no bar which is starting on September 8th. So there was no booking which happened on September 8th. Now let us look at September 9th. We'll go up this line and we'll see if there is a bar which starts on September 9th. There is no bar which is starting on September 9th. So September 9th had no bookings. Similarly, for September 10th, you can see that there is no bar which is starting on September 10th. If you're looking at 11th, also the same, there is no bar which is starting on September 11th. If you're looking at 12th, again there is no bar which is starting on September 11th or 12th. If you're looking at 13th, there is one bar which is starting on September 13th, and that is the art bar. If you are looking at September 14th, this line, there is no bar which is starting on September 14th. So the total number of days in which there was no booking that happened is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the correct answer is 6. Let us look at the second question. What is the average processing time of all orders in all categories which had only one type of ship mode? If you are looking at all the categories which had only one type of ship mode, let us first accumulate what they are. It is not art, it has 5. It is not binders, it also has multiple. It is not paper, it is not phones, because phone also has 1, 2, 3. Appliances has 2. Bookcases has 3. Fasteners has 3. Furnishings also has 2. Labels has 2. Tables has 2. Chairs has 2. Accessories has only 1. There is only one line, one long green line. So accessories is a character which had only one type of ship mode. Similarly, envelopes also has one green line. So this also is a category which has only one ship mode. Storage again has 2. There is one in the second class and one in the standard class. So we'll again ignore them. For accessories, what is the processing time? The order was booked on September 1st and it was dispatched on September 19th. So the processing time is 18 days. For envelopes, the order was booked on 3rd and dispatched on 7th. So the processing time is 4. So the average processing time will be 18 plus 4 divided by 2, which is equal to 22 by 2, which is 11 days. Let us look at the next question. The sequence of categories art, binders, papers and phones we have to arrange in decreasing order of their average processing time. Let us look at the total processing time of arts. The first order was booked on September 1st and it was dispatched on 21st. So the total processing time of all the orders combined is 20. Which is 21 minus 1. And how many orders were there? The number of orders that were there is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Similarly, for binders, the total processing time is from 1st September to 16th September. So this is 15 days. And how many orders were there? It is 1, 2, 3 and 4. For paper, the total processing time is from September 2nd to September 12th. So that is 10 days. And how many orders were there? It is 1, 2 and 3. 3 orders were there. For phones, the total processing time is from September 2nd to September 17th. So this is 15 days. And the number of orders that are there is 1, 2 and 3. So if you are looking at the average processing time, for arts it is 20 by 5, which is 4. For binders it is 15 by 4, which is 3.75. For paper it is 10 by 3. 10 by 3 is 3.33. And for phone it is 15 by 3, which is 5. So the decreasing order will be phone first, then greater than art, then greater than binders, then greater than paper. So the correct answer will be option B. Let us look at the last question. Approximately what percentage of orders had a processing time of 1 day during the period from September 1st to September 22nd, both the dates included? So for each of the categories, we have to figure out what is the total number of orders and how many orders had exactly 1 day processing time. The total number of orders in art is 5 and the number of orders with exactly 1 day processing is 1, just 1. If you are looking at binders, the total number of orders is 1, 2, 3 and 4. And the total number of orders with 1 day processing time is 1 over here and 2 over here. For paper, the total number of orders is 1, 2 and 3 and none of them is a very thin line. All of them are slightly wide, so all of them have at least 2 day processing. For phones, the total number of orders is 1, 2 and 3 and there is one order in the middle which is a very thin one that has 1 day processing time. Appliances, the number of orders is 2 and there is no order with exactly 1 day processing. Then we have to look at bookcases. Bookcases have 1, 2 and 3 and there are 2 in the middle other than the one in the middle, this one and this one. Both of them are 1 day processing. Then we look at fasteners. Fasteners has 1, 2, 3, all of them are slightly wide, so there is no order with 1 day processing. If you are looking at furnishings, 1, 2, 2 and both of them are wide, so there is no order with exactly 1 day processing. Then you have labels. Labels also there are 2 and both of them are slightly wide, so they are not with 1 day processing. This is the first one, the black one, which is the second class order, is 2-day processing time. You can figure it out just by looking at the width. Then you have tables. Tables also, there are 2 orders and both of them are slightly wide, so there is none with 1 day processing time. Then you have chairs. There are 2 orders and the first one is very thin. So this one has a 1 day processing time. Accessories and envelopes we have discussed earlier also, they are very wide ones. There is 1 and 1, just 1 order, and the processing time is definitely not 1 day. And storage also, there are 2 and both of them are fairly wide, so they also don't have any order with a 1 day processing time. So now if you are looking at the total number of orders, it is 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 3, this is 15, 15 plus 8, 15 plus 8 is 23, 23 plus 8, 23 plus 8 is 31, 31 plus 4 is 35. So the total number of orders is 35. And the number of orders with exactly 1 day processing time will be 1 plus 2, 3, 4, 6 and 7. So the percentage will be 7 by 35, which is equal to 1 by 5. If you are converting it to percentage, it will be 20%. So the correct answer is option C.
Google search Cracku free cat mocks. Click on the first link. You can attempt 3 latest cat mocks in the actual exam interface. After completing the test, you get detailed solutions, analysis, percentile along with your scorecard to gauge your All India performance. Click on the solution to get video solutions from our expert faculty.
In this question, we are told that there are 5 friends. Let us call them A, B, C, D and E, and each one of them rates 10 objects according to the table that is given. Now, all of these 10 objects were distributed amongst the 5 friends such that each friend has received exactly 2 objects. We are required to calculate who has received which object. We have been given some clues. We are told that there are 3 people who have rated that sum of the objects that they received, the sum of the 2 objects that they received as 16. One of them, Disha, has rated her own bundle as an odd number, and the other person has rated bundle as an even number. So this is the information that is given to us. Let us go through the clues once and then let us try to identify who has gotten which object. There are 5 people, A, B, C, D and E. Before we start this explanation, this question I think is a very difficult question, and if this kind of a question appears in the examination, you should definitely leave this alone, because it involves a lot of complications, and the correct idea striking your mind in the examination under that pressure I think is very, very difficult. So probably you can try it for a few minutes, for a couple of minutes or 3 minutes, and then figure out that there are many things that should go your way for you to actually get this question correct. So those kind of questions should definitely be left alone. I'll tell you what exactly I mean by many things going your way when we actually start answering this question. The first one says that if someone's value of an object is 10, he or she received that object. There are only 2 10s in the table. So object 9 is received by Bharat and object 10 is received by E. Objects O1, O2 and O3 were given to 3 different people. O1 and O8 were given to different people. 3 people value their bundles as 16. No one values his or her own bundle as a number higher than 16. Disha values her own bundle as an odd number. So Disha is odd. All others value their bundles as even numbers, out of which 3 are 16 and one person has valued it as an even number which is less than 16. Some people value their bundles as less than 16, envy the people who value their bundles at 16. No one else envies others. So now if you are looking at the information that is given, let us try to identify the sum of the bundle of B and E. If you are looking at B, B has already gotten a 10. It should be an even number which should be less than or equal to 6. The only other number which actually fits that is O7, because he cannot get O8 or O10, because then the sum of the bundle becomes 10 plus 8, which is 18. This would imply that Bharat got O7. Next, if you are looking at E, E has already received a 10. Now he needs an even number which is less than or equal to 6. That even number should be either O7 or O5 or O1. It cannot be O7 because O7 was given to Bharat. So E will be getting either O1 or O5. Now to proceed further, an idea should strike your mind. This is what I was saying earlier about why this is a complex question, because these kind of ideas are difficult to really think about unless you are spending a lot of time and analyzing a lot of enumerations. The thing that should strike your mind is that what should the sum of Amar be? If you are looking at Bharat got 09 and 07, and if Amar also got the sum to be equal to 16, Amar values 07 as 8 and 09 as 9. That sum of 8 plus 9 would be 17. So if Amar would be envying Bharat, so there is no way Amar would be getting his sum to be equal to 16. So this should be a even number less than 16. This would imply that C has to have a sum of 16 and E also should have a sum of 16. This is already known to us because E will either get O1 or O5 along with O10, so that is 16. But the idea that should strike your mind is that Amar is envying Bharat. This would imply that Amar's sum cannot be equal to 16 and therefore it should be an even number less than 16. This is the first thing that should strike your mind. Now if you are looking at C, C has to be equal to 16. If you are looking at the different possibilities that C can have, there are many 8s over here. There are 3 8s. There is a 6, there is a 4, there is a 8 and there is a 9 and there is a 6. Now for the sum to be equal to 16, it cannot have 9 because there is no 9 plus 7. It cannot be a 6 or a 4 because then 6 plus the other number has to be 10, but Charles doesn't value any object as 10. It cannot be 4 because the other object has to be 12. It cannot be 3 or 5 for the same reason because you need 13 and 11. That also is not happening. This would imply that Charles is definitely getting his 16 as 8 plus 8. The issue over here is that Charles values many objects as 8. Charles values O1, O2, O3 and O8 as 8, out of which he needs 2 objects to pick. But we know that O1, O2 and O3, all of them go to different people. So if he is picking 2 objects out of O1, O2, O3 and O8, because he can pick a maximum of 1 object over here of O1, O2, O3, it would imply that O8 belongs to Charles and he rates it as 8. And because O8 belongs to Charles, O1 cannot belong to Charles. That is an information that is given to us. This would imply that the other object has to be O2 or O3. Even coming this far will involve you understanding all the rules and all the constraints very well. In addition to that, now another idea should strike your mind. What is the other idea? It is that if O8 is over here, O8 is valued by Bharat as 8. Now Bharat values O2 as 9. So if Charles has O8 and O2, Bharat would be envious of Charles. That is not possible. This would imply that Bharat should not be envious of Charles. So O2 and O8 cannot be Charles's pair. This would imply that Charles has O3 over here. Now if you are looking at how much Bharat envies or whether he envies Charles or not, because O8 is valued by Bharat at 8 and O3 is valued as 7, 8 plus 7 is 15, so now he is not envious. This is the second idea that should strike your mind. These kind of things, when there are many enumerations involved, when you have to check who is envious of whom, with a big table over here, it is very difficult to solve these kind of questions in the examination. Anyway, let us proceed further. Now we know that Bharat has 16, Charles has 16, E also has 16, but we don't know whether E has O1 or O5. Now let us first take stock of what else is remaining. If you are looking at the objects that are remaining, which we haven't for certain attributed to one of the 5 people, the objects are O1, O2, O3 is attributed, O4, O5 and O6. And the 2 people who are remaining are A and D. If you are looking at the values that A and D give to each of these 5 objects which are remaining, A values them as 4, 9, O3 is done, O4 is 3, 7 and 3. And for D, the respective values that D attributes are 8 and 8 over here, 4, 5 and 6 is 5, 5, 3. We want the sum of A to be an even number and we want the sum of D to be an odd number. If you want the sum of D to be an odd number, you should definitely have one of these 8s as D. Because if you don't have any one of the 2 even numbers, if you are picking only 2 numbers out of 5, 5 and 3, the sum will be an even number. This would imply that D has one 8 and one number out of 5, 5 and 3. Or this would imply that D's sum will be either 11 or 13. Similarly, if you are looking at A cannot have O1, because if A is having O1, that will be one even number and all the remaining numbers are odd numbers. So his sum will necessarily be an odd number. That is not true. Now he has to pick two numbers out of 9, 3, 7 and 3. The different possibilities are, if you are picking even, if you want the sum to be even, it can be either 6 when it is 3 plus 3, or it can be 10 when it is 7 plus 3, or it can be 16, or it can be 12 because it is 9 plus 3, or it is 16, but 16 is not allowed because we know that the sum of the bundle of A is definitely an even number which is less than 16. These are the cases for A. Now before you proceed further, another idea should strike your mind. What is that idea? The idea is that A should not be jealous of D, because the person who is jealous has gotten a sum which is less than 16, but they are jealous only of people who value their bundle as 16. Disha doesn't value her bundle as 16. She values it as a number which is less than 16, either 11 or 13. So Amar should not be jealous of Disha. This is the next idea that should strike your mind. Now if you are looking at it, you kind of feel that Amar should definitely get O2, because he values this a lot, and if this goes to Disha, then there is a very good chance he is going to feel jealous. How can you actually prove that? We can prove that by saying that if say O2 goes to Disha, then what are the possibilities for Amar? Amar will get only 3, 7 and 3. These are the only objects that are available to him, or his sum will be either 6 or 10. Now if say Disha has O2, then Amar's sum will be either 6 or 10. Now surely whatever Disha picks with O2, even if she is picking O4 or O5 or O6, in any one of these cases, Amar will be jealous of Disha, because he values O2 so highly. He values O2 at 9, and even if he is picking O4 or O5 or O6, any one of them, his sum will be greater than 10. So in that particular case, Amar will be jealous of Disha. This is not possible. So this would imply that O2 has to necessarily belong to Amar. Just to reiterate, if O2 doesn't belong to Amar, O2 has to go to Disha, and Disha will pick another object which is either O4 or O5 or O6, and Amar will be then jealous of Disha. That can't be allowed, so O2 will belong to Amar. Now if you are removing this, then you can actually say that O1 has to now belong to Disha. Why is that the case? Because remember what we said, Disha's sum has to be an odd number, and there is only one even number and the remaining 3 are odd. For you to get the sum of two numbers to be an odd number, you should definitely have one even number and one odd number. If you are having two odd numbers, the sum will be even. If you are having two even numbers, the sum will be even. So if you want the sum to be an odd number, one of them should be even and one of them should be odd. Now if you are removing O2, only O1 is left according to Disha, which is an even number. This would imply that O1 has to belong to Disha. Now this would imply that in E's case, O5 has to belong to E. Now there are only two objects which are left, which are O4 and O6. Now if you are just looking at Amar and Disha, one of them has to get O4, one of them has to get O6, but both of them should not be envious of each other. If you are looking at the two cases that are possible, in one case Amar gets O2 and O4, and Disha is going to get O1 and O6. This is one possibility. In the other case, Amar is going to get O2 and O6, and Disha is going to get O1 and O4. In the case of Amar, O2 he values it at 9, and O4 and O6 he values at 3. So this is 9 and this is 3. So in both the cases, his sum is equal to 12. In case of Disha, she values O1 at 8, and O6 she values at 3, and O4 she values at 5. Now here another idea should strike your mind. You don't want Disha also to be jealous of Amar. Now if Disha is actually getting O6, which she doesn't value very highly, and if Amar is getting O2 and O4, in this particular case Disha's sum is 11. But let us try to calculate how much Disha values O2 and O4. Disha values O2 at 8, and O4 she values at 5, that is 13. So in this first case, Disha is now envious of Amar. So this is not possible. This would imply that the only case remaining is that Amar gets 06, which is not valued very highly by Disha. So now she is not envious. And Disha gets 04, which is what she actually wants. So now if you are looking at the sum, Amar's sum is 12, which is 9 plus 3. Disha's sum is 8 plus 5, which is 13. So this is how we actually categorize and give the objects to the 5 people. Now let us go ahead and answer the questions that follow. In this question, for us to actually understand all the clues, understand how each one of them is related to another, and try to find out the contradictions takes a lot of time. You should be very thorough with the rules themselves. And you won't be thorough with the rules if you are reading the rules once. You'll have to think about it multiple times before you can actually figure out how each one of them fits in. That is the reason these kind of questions should not be attempted in the examination. What can be best said about object 8? Object 8 is given to C. So the correct answer is option C. Who among the following envies someone else? Amar envies someone else. That is how we could actually deduce that Amar did not get 16, because we knew for sure that Amar is envious of Bharat. What is Amar's value for his own bundle? That is 12. Object 04 was given to D, Disha. Object 05 was given to E, Elise. What can be best said about the distribution of object 1? Object 1 was given to D.
Google search Cracku CAT formulas PDF. Click on the first link. You will get a list of topics for CAT. Click on one of the topics. Download the PDF to get a list of formulas for the topic.
In this question, we are told that there is a championship in which 12 players have participated. In the initial stage, these 12 players were divided into 4 groups. The first group contained 3 people, Aruna, Azul and Arif. The second group also contained 3 people, Brinda, Bridge and Biju. The third group also consisted of 3 people, Chitra, Chetan and Chavi. The fourth group also consisted of 3 people, Deepen, Donna and Dib. Now, each of this group had these 3 people and they were initially ranked from 1 to 3. The person who was ranked first gets a bye in the first round, and the person who is ranked second and third, they play a match. The winner then plays a match against the first ranked person, and in this match whoever wins goes to the semi-final, and after semi-final they go to the final. So if you're looking at it, let us say this is group A, this is group B, this is group C and this is group D. This is A, B, C and D. Now the winners of A and B play in the semi-final, and the winners of C and D play in the semi-final, and the winners of the 2 semi-finals place in the final. We have been given some information. We are told that Chitra did not win the championship. We are also told that Aruna did not play against Arif and Bridge did not play against Brinda. We are also given that Aruna, Biju, Chitra, Deepen played 3 games each. Azul and Chetan played 2 games each and everybody else played 1 game each. This is a key clue. The reason it is key is because if you are thinking of a group which consists of the 3 players X, Y and Z, such that X is ranked 1, Y and Z are ranked 2 and 3. Initially Y plays against Z and suppose Y wins this. The next game will be played between X and Y, and whoever wins this goes to the next round. Now the thing that you should realize is that somebody who has played 3 games has to necessarily be the winner of the group. Because in this particular case, even if you are assuming that Y, who has won the first match, does not win the group, that is in the match between X and Y, if X wins and X is the winner of the group, then Y will play only 2 games. He'll play the first game against Z and then he'll play a match against Y and then loses. Anybody who has played 3 games has to necessarily be the winner of that particular group. This would imply that Aruna is the winner of the first group, Biju is the winner of the second group, Chitra is the winner of the third group, and Deepen is the winner of the fourth group. Now we are told that Ajul and Chetan played 2 games each. This should also tell us that in the group A, Ajul was not ranked 1. Ajul was ranked either 2 or 3. So he played a game against Arif, he won that game, and then he played a game against Aruna and lost that game, and Aruna went to the next round. So this would imply that Ajul was over here. He played against Arif and won that game. Then he played a game against Aruna and lost that game, and Aruna was the winner of that particular group. This also occurred in group C. If Chetan has played 2 games, it would imply that, because Chetan is not the winner of the group, it would imply that Chetan has to be ranked either 2 or 3. So Chetan played over here against Chavi and won that match, and then he played a match against Chitra, who was ranked 1 and lost that game, and Chitra proceeded to the semi-final. Now if you are looking at Aruna and Chitra, at this point when the first stage happened, Aruna was the winner of the group. Aruna played only 1 match till now, and that 1 match was against Azul. Aruna played a total of 3 matches, so this would imply that Aruna has played in the semi-final and in the final. So one of the finalists is Aruna and one of the finalists is Chitra. We are also told that Chitra did not win the championship. This would imply that Aruna is the winner of the championship. This would also tell us that Aruna won against Biju, so Biju lost in the semi-final. Chitra was also the winner of the semi-final, so Deepen lost in the semi-final. We know that Biju and Deepen played 3 games each. One of them was the semi-final. So even before the semi-final, both Biju as well as Deepen played 2 games. This would imply that neither of them was the ranked 1 player in their particular groups. Because if they were the respective rank 1 players of their groups, to win that particular group, they had to play only 1 game against the winner of the rank 2 and rank 3. But by this time, Biju had played 2 and Deepen had played 2. Both of their third games were the semi-final, which they lost. This would imply that Biju was somewhere over here in the middle. He was either 2 or 3. Similarly, Deepen was also in the middle. He was also either 2 or 3. This would imply that there was 1 guy above and 1 guy below Biju. Same is the case for Deepen. There was 1 guy above and 1 guy below. The 2 guys in group B will be Brinda and Bridge. Some of them, one of the 2 was ranked 1 and one of them was ranked 3. In the same way, for Deepen also, one of them is Donna and one of them is Deb. Again, when I am saying they are ranked 3, it doesn't mean that they are ranked actually 3. Because rank 2 and rank 3 can be actually interchanged. We don't have any particular information to identify Deepen as rank 2. Deepen can be either rank 2 or rank 3. Similarly, Biju can be either rank 2 or rank 3. What we can say for certain is that they were not rank 1. So Biju played 2 games in the group. Deepen also played 2 games in the group. This is the information that we can say for sure. Now let us go ahead and answer the questions that follow. If we are stuck somewhere, we'll come back and try to extract more information. Who among the following definitely was not ranked first in his or her group? What we know for certain is that Aruna was ranked 1, Chitra was ranked 1, Biju and Deepen were not ranked 1. So we can say for certain that Deepen was certainly not ranked 1. Aruna was definitely ranked 1, Chitra was definitely ranked 1. Bridge can be either rank 1 or not. What we know for sure is that Biju is not rank 1. Biju is either 2 or 3. So rank 1 can be either Bridge or Brinda. Any one of the 2 can be rank 1. So the correct answer is Deepen. Which of the following must have played against each other in the championship? Deb and Donna definitely did not play against each other. One of them was ranked 1. Deepen played against the other person and Deepen won that match. So the other person was eliminated. And whoever was ranked 1 then played against Deepen. Deepen again won that match and now he qualified for the semi-final. At this point, Deepen had played 2 games. But Deepen played a total of 3 games only. So this would imply that Deepen lost in the semi-final. So it is not option A. If you are looking at Ajul and Biju, both of them were in different groups. And Ajul was not the winner of his group. So he would not qualify to the semi-final. So there is no way he is playing against Biju. Donna and Chetan, again the same situation arises. Donna is not the winner of the group, Chetan is not the winner of his group. So it would imply that both of them cannot play each other. Chitra and Deepen we know for certain have played the semi-final. So the correct answer is option D. Who won the championship? The winner of the championship is Aruna. Who among the following did not play against Chitra in the championship? Chitra played against one of Chetan and Chavi, and that one actually is Chetan. We know that. In the group, Chitra played against Chetan. So this is not option B. In the semi-final, she played against Deepen. So it is not option C. In the final, she played against Aruna. So this also is not the answer. So the correct answer has to be Biju. Chitra and Biju were in different semi-finals. Biju lost that particular semi-final against Aruna. He did not qualify for the finals. And Chitra reached the finals after defeating Deepen. So the correct answer is Biju did not play against Chitra.
We at Cracku provide all the previous year CAT papers along with many other MBA examinations such as IIFT, ZAT, SNAP, MAT, CMAT, TIS and PGDBA in the actual exam format. You can attempt them as a test and get a detailed analysis of your performance or download them as PDFs.
In this question, we are told that there was one person who works in a food delivery company and customers rate him across 4 parameters. The 4 parameters are behavior, packaging, hygiene and timeliness. And then the ranking is is rated from 1 to 9. And there will be a total of the number of points that he has received across all the 4 parameters. If that is greater than 25, he gets a tip of 20. He gets a bonus of 20. Otherwise also a customer can pay him 30 rupees or 50 rupees as tip. He has served 4 customers. They are Atal, Bihari, Chirag and Deepak. So let us call them A, B, C, D. So let us actually draw a table. The table is going to have 4 rows and 4 columns. It will look something like this. This will be Atal. This is Bihari. This is Chirag. And finally, we have Deepak. And the 4 parameters are also given. The 4 parameters are behavior, packaging, hygiene, timeliness and total. This is also the total across each of the parameters. Let us go through all the clues and then we will come back and try to fill up the table. The first clue is that the total he received is 120 rupees and no person who has given him a tip has nobody gave him a bonus and a tip from the same customer. So essentially the total is equal to 120 and the numbers which make up this 120 are either 50 or 30 or 20. And each of the customer can give him at most one of these 3 numbers. So if you are looking for the way to make the sum to be equal to 120, there are a few cases possible. In the first case, if there are say 2 50s. So 2 customers have given him a tip of 50 rupees and one customer has given him bonus. That is, he has given him marks such that he has gotten more than 25 and then he got 20 rupees. In the other scenario, say he has gotten only 150 rupee tip. Then the remaining 3 have to add up to 70. That would only happen if he has received 30 rupees as tip from someone and 2 20s, that is 2 bonuses of 20 each. In the last case, suppose he has not received any 50 and he needs to make up for 120 across 4 customers. That would imply that all of them have given him a tip of 30. So 30, 30, 30 and 30. These are the only cases possible such that you get a total of 120 across the 3 numbers 50, 30 and 20 in less than or equal to 4 customers. In timeliness, Ravi received a total of 21 points. So in timeliness, the total is 21. 3 of the customers gave him the same rating and Atal gave higher rating than Bihari and Chirag in this parameter. So this would imply that the 3 parameters which were same belong to Bihari, Chirag and Deepak. Atal was the only person who was different. So let us assume that Atal is B and Bihari, Chirag and Deepak are A. This would imply that a few things are implied. 3A plus B is equal to 21 and we also know that B is greater than A. Now what are the values that A and B can take? The first case is that A is equal to 5. If A is equal to 5, 3A is equal to 15. So the value of B has to equal 6. A cannot be equal to 6 because if A is equal to 6, 3A is equal to 18 and the value of B will be equal to 3 which is less than A. The next scenario is if A is equal to 4. If A is equal to 4, 3A is equal to 12 and the value of B is equal to 9. If A becomes equal to 3, then 3A will be equal to 9 and the value of B will be 12, which is greater than 9. So that is not allowed. So only these two cases are possible. Either the three parameters, the three ratings which are the same is equal to 5 and the only person who gave a different rating, that is Atal, got 6, or the three ratings which are the same is 4 and Atal gave 9. These are the two cases that are possible. We'll come back to it. Ravi received distinct ratings in packaging from the 4 customers, adding up to 29 points. In packaging, all the marks were distinct and they total up to 29. Similarly, Ravi received distinct points in hygiene. This also is distinct, and in this case, the total is equal to 26. If you think about it, you have 4 parameters which are all unique and they have to be less than or equal to 9. So what is the maximum possible total that somebody can get using distinct ratings? That would be if he got 9 in one, 8 in another, 7 in the third and 6 in the fourth. And what is 9 plus 8 plus 7 plus 6? This is equal to 30. Now he got a score of 29, which also is actually very high. The only way that is going to happen using 4 distinct numbers, all of them less than or equal to 9, will be if the 4 numbers are 9 plus 8 plus 7 plus 5. So this has to be his ranking in some way in packaging. We don't know who gave him 9, who gave him 8, but we just know that the maximum possible is 30 and he scored just 1 less. That 1 less has to come from the least number possible. That is from 6 you have to decrease 1. Therefore, it will be 9 plus 8 plus 7 plus 5. You can try out 4 other numbers and you will not be able to get the total to be equal to 29. This is the only way it is possible. Now, if you are looking at 26 in another parameter, that is in hygiene, again there were 4 unique numbers which are added and he got 26. Here you are going to find a lot of possibilities. The lot of possibilities is that instead of 9 plus 8 plus 7 plus 6, he can have 9 plus 8 plus 7 plus 2. Because we are decreasing 4 from 6. The total that has to be decreased is 4. You can decrease it from different numbers. You can also decrease, say, 2 each from 7 and 6. So it can be 9 plus 8 plus 5 plus 4. This also will total up to 26. You can also decrease 3 from one and 1 from another. It can be 9 plus 8 plus 6 plus 3. I think this also will total up to 26. There are many other cases in which this is possible. Because 26 is more lesser than 30, you are going to get a different number of ways in which the total will be equal to 26. So we'll come back to it later. But for packaging, we know that the only way in which you can add 4 numbers such that the total is up to 29 will be 9, 8, 7 and 5 in some order. And the reason we can actually pinpoint this intuitively is because 29 is a very large number. The highest possible is 30. You have to decrease 1 from some number. That 1 cannot be decreased from 9, because if you decrease that 1 from 9, it will become 8 and 8. There will be 2 8s. That 1 cannot be from 8, because then it will be 9, 7, 7, 6. There will be 2 7s. That can't be from 7, because then it will be 9, 8, 6 and 6, because there will be 2 6s. So that 1 has to necessarily be removed from 6. So the only way that is possible is if it is 9, 8, 7 and 5. Anyway, I hope it was understandable to you. Otherwise, we'll continue further and you can think about it. Now, Chirag gave the same rating points in packaging and hygiene. So, if Chirag's score in packaging is C, even in hygiene he gave the point is C. Among the 4 customers, Bihari gave the highest rating in packaging. So, in packaging, Bihari gave the highest. We know that in packaging, it has to be 9, 8, 7 and 5. So, Bihari gave 9 in packaging. And Chirag gave the highest in hygiene, and in hygiene Chirag gave the highest. So C is the highest. What does this imply? This implies that the value of C is definitely not equal to 9. So the highest that somebody got in hygiene is not equal to 9. Why is the value of C cannot be equal to 9? Because all the rankings or all the rating points that somebody received in packaging are unique. And we already know that Bihari gave 9 in packaging. This would imply that C has to be either equal to 8 or 7 or 5. So the highest rank that somebody received in hygiene has to be either 8 or 7 or 5. Now this gives us some more additional information. Earlier we were thinking that there was many ways in which you can add up to 26 when the highest possible is 9. But if the highest possible is 8, then what is the sum of the 4 distinct numbers that are possible? They will be 8 plus 7 plus 6 plus 5. And this adds up to 26. So this would imply that C has to necessarily be equal to 8. So this also has to equal 8. So the score of Deepak and Atal in packaging has to be 7 and 5 in some order. This is 29, this is 26. Everyone rated Ravi between 5 and 7 in behavior. Unique maximum and minimum ratings in this parameter were given by Atal and Deepak. This would tell us that Atal gave 7, Deepak gave 5, and the remaining 2 have to be 6 because the highest was unique and the lowest was also unique. If the customer ranked based on ratings was given by them in individual parameters, then Atal's rank in packaging, is the same as Atal's rank in hygiene. Similarly, Deepak's rank in packaging is the same as Deepak's rank in hygiene. What does this tell us? This tells us a few things. The first thing it is going to tell us is that the rank of Atal in hygiene and packaging has to be either 3 or 4. Because in packaging the highest was given by Bihari, it was 9. The second highest was given by Chirag, that was 8. So Atal's rank in packaging has to be either 3 or 4. Therefore, his rank in hygiene also is 3 or 4. Same is the case for Deepak. Deepak's rank in packaging has to be 3 or 4. Therefore, Deepak's rank in hygiene also has to be 3 or 4. This would imply that the second rank in hygiene has to go to Bihari. So he has to get 7. Now this would tell us that the rank of Atal, if it is say 3 in packaging, it would imply that he got 7 in packaging, and therefore his rank in hygiene also is 3. So it has to be 6. This is one scenario. Or his rank in hygiene and packaging is 4. This would imply that he got 5 in both of them. These are the two cases that are possible. In the first case, the score of Deepak in packaging will be equal to 5. And the score of Deepak in hygiene will also be equal to 5 because he got 4th rank in both of them. In the second case, Deepak got the 3rd rank and Atal got the 4th rank. So if Deepak got the 3rd rank, he would get 7 in packaging and 6 in hygiene. These are the two cases that are possible. Now based on this, we can actually calculate the total scores of each one of them. The total scores of Bihari, for example, is 6 plus 9 plus 7 plus A. That is 22 plus A. Similarly, the total score of Chirag is also calculated, that is 6 plus 8 plus 8 plus A. So again, this is 22 plus A. The total score of Deepak in the first case is 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus A. So this is 15 plus A. In the second case, it is 5 plus 7 plus 6 plus A. So this is 18 plus A. The total score of Atal in the first case is 7 plus 7 plus 6 plus B. So this is 20 plus B. In the second case, it is 7 plus 5 plus 5 plus B. So this is 17 plus B. What can we infer now? We know that the value of A is either 4 or 5. In both the cases, the scores of Bihari and Chirag will be greater than 25, greater than or equal to 25. So Bihari will give a bonus to that guy, to Ravi. Similarly, Chirag will give a bonus to that guy because in all the cases, this score is greater than 20. So the number of bonus is at least equal to 2. So it can't be this case. It can't be this case. This would imply that the distribution has to be 50, 30, 20 and 20. So Atal has to give a tip of 50 or 30. Similarly, Deepak has to give a tip of either 50 or 30. This would also tell us that the total scores of Atal and Deepak that were given by Atal and Deepak have to be necessarily less than 25. If you are looking at Deepak, in one case it is 15 plus A, in the second case it is 18 plus A. As the value of A is 5 or 4, in all the cases that is definitely less than 25. We are not getting any additional information. But if you are looking at the total by Atal, in one case it is 20 plus B and in the second case it is 17 plus B. And the value of B is either 6 or 9. If the value of B is 9, then it would imply that 17 plus 9 is 26, 20 plus B is 29. In both the cases, he is getting a bonus. Ravi is going to get a bonus from Atal. That is not happening. So the value of A cannot be equal to 4 and the value of B cannot be equal to 9. This would imply that A has to equal 5 and B has to equal 6. So this is 5, 5, 5 and this is 6. Now, even when the value of B is 6, in the first case, the total given by Atal will be 20 plus 6, which is 26. Again, there will be bonus which will be given to Ravi. We don't want that. So it would imply that the only scenario in which Ravi is not going to get a bonus for his delivery by Atal is if the total is 17 plus B. So this would imply that Atal gave a rating of 5 and 5 in these two. This is 5, this is 5. Therefore, his total is 17 plus B, which would be equal to 23. And this would also tell us that the ranking given by Deepak has to be 7 and 6. And the total will be equal to 23. This is 16 plus 11 is 27. If you are adding everything up, this is 17 plus 11 is 29. This is 15 plus 11 is 26. So everything is adding up. Now let us go ahead and answer the questions that follow. What is the minimum rating that Ravi received from any customer in any parameter? The minimum rating is 5. The complete list of customers who gave the maximum total rating to Ravi is Bihari and Chirag. What rating did Atal give in timeliness? Atal gave 6 in timeliness. What best can be concluded about the tip amount given by Deepak? It is either 50 or 30. One of Atal and Deepak gave 50, the other person gave 30. In which parameter did Atal give maximum rating to Ravi? The parameter in which Atal gave the maximum rating is behavior. What rating did Deepak give on packaging? Deepak gave 7 in packaging.
Google search Cracku CMAT mock test series. Click on the link. You can attempt 1 free mock and 5 paid mocks in the actual exam interface. After completing the test, you get detailed solutions, analysis, percentile along with your scorecard to gauge your All India performance.